The movie Beetlejuice Beetlejuice, 2024, opens with a hauntingly whimsical tone that immediately captures the eerie charm of Tim Burton's universe. From the first frame, the film pulls audiences back into the strange and darkly comedic afterlife that fans have loved for decades. The camera glides over the familiar town of Winter River, fog clinging to crooked rooftops, graveyards whispering secrets, and the faint echo of laughter drifting through the mist. It's been years since the chaotic events of the original Beetlejuice, and now we return to find Lydia Deetz, once the gloomy teenager who could see the dead, grown up and still living in the shadow of her peculiar past. Played again by Winona Ryder, Lydia is now a successful paranormal talk show host, though her fascination with the supernatural still carries traces of trauma and longing. The peace of her world begins to unravel when tragedy strikes, bringing her back to her childhood home, the same house where Beetlejuice once wreaked havoc. Here, the tone shifts between nostalgia and dread. The set design itself feels alive, breathing Burton's gothic aesthetic, twisted staircases, warped furniture, and picture frames that seem to blink when no one's watching. Lydia's daughter, Astrid, played by Jenna Ortega, becomes the bridge between generations, embodying both curiosity and rebellion. Her fascination with her mother's stories leads her to uncover secrets buried deep within the walls of their home. And that's when things start to get strange. Doors creak without reason, mirrors fog with whispers, and shadows move on their own. The first act brilliantly reintroduces us to the world's twisted humor and morbid beauty. The afterlife bureaucracy, the ghostly waiting rooms, and the surreal rules of death return with modern flair. Beetlejuice himself, played once again by Keaton, re-enters the story in the most chaotic way imaginable, summoned by Astrid's naive curiosity and the repetition of his infamous name. His entrance is a mix of terror and comedy. Lightning flashes, furniture dances, and Beetlejuice bursts through the walls with that signature grin, his striped suit tattered yet iconic. "Miss me?" he bellows, breaking the fourth wall as the audience erupts in both laughter and disbelief. This stage of the movie sets the foundation for a story that's both a continuation and a reflection, a mix of old ghosts and new mistakes. Beetlejuice, as mischievous and unpredictable as ever, wastes no time stirring up trouble, while Lydia struggles to contain the case she once barely escaped. There's tension between mother and daughter, both drawn to and terrified by the supernatural world that connects them. Beneath the humor and visual madness, there's an undercurrent of melancholy, a reminder that grief, guilt, and curiosity often go hand in hand when you meddle with the unknown. As the first act closes, Astrid unknowingly opens a new portal, a vibrant, horrifying gateway that connects the living world to the netherworld. Strange creatures begin to seep through, Beetlejuice cackles with delight, and Lydia, realizing history is repeating itself, screams for her daughter to stop. The scene fades with Beetlejuice's voice echoing, "It's showtime, again!" signaling the beginning of a new wave of chaos. The second act of Beetlejuice Beetlejuice, 2024, dives deeper into the chaotic wonderland of the afterlife, a twisted, visually stunning realm that only Tim Burton could create. The tone becomes a kaleidoscope of horror and comedy as Lydia and her daughter Astrid are pulled into a bizarre collision between the living world and the netherworld. The moment Astrid's accidental summoning opens the portal, colors distort, furniture comes alive, and the air vibrates with Beetlejuice's gleeful energy. Keaton's performance steals every frame, manic, unpredictable, and laced with dark wit. His voice echoes through the crumbling house like a carnival barker from hell, cracking jokes even as the laws of reality start to twist around him. "You call, I crawl!" he shouts, grinning through smoke as ghostly figures dance in the walls. Lydia's frustration and fear reach a breaking point as she realizes her daughter is repeating her own mistakes. The mother-daughter dynamic becomes the emotional core of this act. Astrid, curious and rebellious, sees Beetlejuice not as a threat but as a challenge, someone who can show her the truth about the dead. Lydia, haunted by memories of the chaos Beetlejuice once caused, tries to reason with her daughter, but the line between protection and control blurs. Their arguments are intercut with surreal imagery, mirrors cracking to reveal hidden faces, portraits whispering in the background, and Beetlejuice orchestrating it all like a deranged ringmaster. Meanwhile, The netherworld itself becomes a character, more alive, bizarre, and grotesquely beautiful than ever. The film expands on its mythology, showing new layers of the afterlife's bureaucracy, endless hallways lined with forgotten souls, ghostly clerks stamping death certificates, and strange creatures waiting for their reassignments. The set design is a masterclass in Burton's visual storytelling. Every detail feels handcrafted, from the flickering neon signs that read, "Welcome back, Deetzes," to the eerie carnival rides powered by lost spirits. Beetlejuice drags Astrid through this chaotic landscape, introducing her to an absurd cast of characters: a headless lounge singer, a skeleton in a tuxedo who acts as a lawyer, and an entire band of musical ghosts who break into spontaneous song numbers. It's creepy, hilarious, and oddly heartfelt all at once. As Astrid becomes more fascinated by Beetlejuice's world, she begins to see him as more than just a monster. There's a strange sadness in him, a loneliness masked by constant jokes and pranks. In a rare quiet moment, he tells Astrid that he's stuck between laughs and loss, hinting at his tragic origin as someone who died alone, forgotten, and turned chaos into his identity. Lydia overhears this, and for the first time, sees Beetlejuice not as pure evil but as a reflection of her own unresolved grief. The emotional complexity between these three characters, the grieving mother, the curious daughter, and the cursed trickster, gives the film's surprising depth. But Beetlejuice, true to his nature, cannot resist pushing things too far. His antics escalate as he tries to take control of the living world once again. He schemes to make Astrid his permanent link, a living conduit that could let him stay topside forever. The tone shifts from playful mischief to sinister tension. The music grows darker, the shadows stretch longer, and the humor takes on a sharper edge. Lydia realizes she must stop him before her daughter becomes trapped in his world. The portal between life and death grows unstable, sucking in furniture, ghosts, and even parts of the town. The climax of this act builds toward an explosive confrontation, as Beetlejuice's grin fades into something far more menacing. In a stunning sequence of swirling light and thunderous laughter, Lydia and Astrid are thrown into the netherworld completely, landing in the same sandworm-ridden wasteland that haunted audiences in the original film. Beetlejuice, now fully empowered, stands atop a hill of bones, spreading his arms wide and declaring, "Time to make dying fun again!" The camera zooms out to reveal a massive carnival of the dead rising from the sand, its lights flickering red and green against the dark sky. The stakes have never been higher. The third act of Beetlejuice Beetlejuice, 2024, explodes into a breathtaking fusion of chaos, emotion, and Burton-style visual brilliance, the perfect climax for this long-awaited sequel. Lydia Deetz, her daughter Astrid, and Beetlejuice himself are now trapped in the netherworld's most twisted realm, the Carnival of the Dead. It's a nightmarish circus of flickering lights, screaming souls, and grotesque performers who laugh and cry in the same breath. Skeleton clowns juggle skulls, ghostly acrobats swing through smoky air, and the sandworms slither beneath the ground, glowing like serpents made of moonlight. At the center of it all stands Beetlejuice, towering atop a carousel throne made of bones, his grin wider than ever, the crowd of undead chanting his name. "You wanted a show?" he roars. "Let's raise the dead and drop the living!" Lydia and Astrid are forced to confront Beetlejuice's ultimate plan, to merge the living and dead worlds permanently, creating a never-ending circus of chaos where he reigns supreme. The emotional tension between mother and daughter reaches its peak here. Lydia, realizing the cost of her fear, begs Astrid to trust her, while Astrid, finally understanding the danger of her curiosity, struggles with guilt. The once defiant teen now stands at the heart of Beetlejuice's twisted ritual, his key to merging realities. The air crackles with otherworldly energy as he begins his spell, a wild blend of comedy and horror that only Burton could pull off. Floating tombstones spin like carnival rides, gravestones light up like stage lights, and Beetlejuice's laughter echoes through the multicolored storm overhead. But amidst the madness, Lydia finds her strength again. In a powerful flashback montage, the movie revisits her younger self, the girl who once faced death without fear, who saw beauty in darkness. That same courage now drives her to fight for her daughter and to confront the ghost who once haunted her life. She calls out Beetlejuice's name, not in fear, but with command. The scene slows as Lydia faces him, and for a moment, there's silence. Beetlejuice freezes, his smirk faltering as he realizes she's no longer the frightened teenager he used to manipulate. "You think you can control me again, babe?" he sneers, but there's uncertainty in his voice. Lydia steps forward and, using the knowledge she's gained from her years studying the supernatural, turns his own chaotic energy against him. The netherworld begins to crumble around them as Beetlejuice loses control. The carnival collapses into darkness, the spirits start breaking free, and sandworms rise from below, devouring the twisted structures he built. Astrid and Lydia, holding onto each other, attempt to escape as Beetlejuice desperately tries to pull himself back together, muttering jokes even in defeat. "You can't cancel me twice, sweetheart," he shouts, before one massive sandworm bursts from the ground, swallowing him whole in a spectacular, darkly comic moment. The audience can't help but laugh through the horror. It's pure Beetlejuice, undone by his own madness. The storm subsides, leaving the netherworld in eerie silence. Lydia and Astrid find themselves standing in the middle of a fading void as reality begins to rebuild itself. A soft, melancholic tune plays while glowing motes of light swirl around them. They awaken back in the real world, inside their family home, the portal now closed. The once haunted house feels peaceful for the first time. Dust settles, sunlight filters through the windows, and Lydia holds her daughter close, whispering, "Some doors are meant to stay closed." Astrid, still shaken but wiser, smiles faintly and says, "But some ghosts never really go away." The film's ending is classic Burton, bittersweet and darkly humorous. As the Deetz family leaves the house, the camera pans down to the cellar, where Beetlejuice's muffled laughter echoes faintly one last time. A bony hand bursts through the floorboards, snapping its fingers to the beat of the closing credits music. "Did you miss me?" he chuckles, leaving the audience grinning and guessing if he'll ever truly be gone. The screen fades to black, the words, "It's showtime!" Forever flash across the screen, and Danny Elfman's hauntingly playful score carries the final note.